What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Popcorn Chicken Mandalorian style. We've got a good show today. We're going to break down the Mandalorian episode, the newest episode. And then afterwards, we're going to hit the Cantina Bar and just, see what's going on in Hollywood. I got to bring in a couple of buddies of mine here. They've been sitting around the Cantina Bar for a while already, so they might be a little bit lipsy. It is Chris and Justin. What is going on, guys?
Hello. Hello.
You guys drinking anything special today?
The droids won't serve me tonight.
That is good. I like that.
Just some bog standards oil.
Yeah.
No
exactly.
nanobots.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good.
You ready to break this down? Episode 5, man.
This is not
6.
episode 5.
Is it 6?
6.
6.
Oh my god, it's even worse.
Yeah.
I have a lot to talk about this episode.
Me too.
Like a lot. I'm trying to be nice, but it's not happening, man. I am not happy, I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. To start,
Here we go.
episode felt like the good parts of the new Star Wars trilogy.
What's going on, Nate? I return for another Wednesday, my dudes.
It's Wednesday.
Hey, Nate, you should stay tuned because I got something to talk about here before we get underway. Sorry, go ahead, Justin. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. You didn't. Nate did.
Yeah, Nate, how dare you?
It felt like, I don't know if I want to say the good parts, but it just felt, the dialogue and the pacing, it all felt like the new trilogy. And not necessarily in a good way.
It is my Wednesday, my dudes.
That's my sister, and it's her birthday today. So
Well,
everyone say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
She's old as fuck.
He's just joking. You have to be sorry. Unless you're Canadian, then you can be sorry all the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, obviously you always want to like everything you watch, especially when it's Star Wars, and it's so hard to hate on it. But yeah, this was definitely the worst episode this season for sure.
There was almost so many cool and there was also too like a really important story beat. Like it wasn't a filler episode. It just
really.
No, because it moved the story forward, and it's not like nothing happened. There was a huge.
There was movement, but it was in my bowels. I'll tell you that right now. That's the only movement I got out of this one.
And it like on paper, if somebody had told me, okay, there's gonna be like a classic noir detective episode, I would have been like, fuck yeah, that sounds cool as shit. But then it was just like too many Disney-isms, and it was just, I'm still torn if I'm happy about the cameos or not.
Yeah,
they were done well, but anyway, we'll get to that later. But
I knew this is exactly what I was expecting Justin to say today. I'm like, what is Justin gonna say? This whole time I sat for like 2 hours today thinking about what Justin would say. And I'm like, it's exactly what you're saying right now is what I thought you were going to say 2-3 hours ago.
Yeah.
But
I don't understand why, the most important part at the ending, why couldn't they just make that the whole episode? Like
exactly.
We'll get into it. But I do want to mention one big thing. So I announced it on our Monday weekly show as well. We're going to be giving away a prize on this channel, this segment here. All you gotta do is just come listen to us, and the prize we're gonna give away it's gonna be highly sought after. We're gonna give away the Tim Burton Batmobile 1/12 scale, so it's gonna be pretty big, and we're gonna give this away to one person on the show. All you do is just listen to the show, and we'll come.
So either Justin and I will win it, right? You said somebody.
No, A&R members cannot win this prize, or any family members associated with A&R. Sorry, what's your sister's name again?
Mila.
Sorry, Mila, you cannot win this. But your friend can, and then give it to you.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't say how far it goes.
Yep.
But we're going to give this away to one lucky winner. All you got to do is come on our show and answer a trivia question. First person to answer it we will ship this out to them. I actually have this already at our one of my toy outlets that I buy it from, and they're waiting to ship this out to our winner.
What's the
So-
Batwing things on the top
That's
there?
I think that's the back, isn't it?
Why don't they fucking show it on the car?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's where the back or tire is. You can see in the picture.
Yeah,
in
it's like
car.
the spoiler kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
sort of like that. Yeah,
show
wind
me that.
deflector.
Why are you showing me what it looks
Todd
like when
does
it comes
the
in the
weirdest
box?
things. I'm telling you right now. He does.
Oh, right, it's McFarlane. Never mind. It all checks out. Okay.
So I
yeah.
could win. Nate. Wait, is this Nathan?
No, this is
Okay.
different, Nathan.
Okay, if you're not associated with A&R, then yeah, you could win. All you got to do is answer a trivia question. First one to answer it. But if you're associated, like if you're part of the A&R team or if you're related to them directly, then you cannot. So this better not be Nathan.
It's not.
Okay.
He's got a different username that I don't remember right now.
Okay. So yeah, you could win. Just answer the question or be the first to answer the question. Anyways, sorry about that. I just wanted to mention that before we get in. But it could be any week. So just keep listening and we're just going to announce it and we'll randomly do that. All right. Back into the fold.
Yes.
Back into the fold. Back into the Hell's Gate. What was that guy's name? The Christopher Lloyd Hell's Gate, wasn't that his name?
Christopher Lloyd, yeah.
So we want to start off with this.
Well, this was the start of the episode.
I thought the start of the episode was
Start of the episode was the Quarren ship, which
thought they
was
were-
fucking cool.
was it the start of the episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
With
starts off
her
with
her
the
in the
ship.
water and the
yeah.
Oh yeah. She was doing the Wolverine
she
thing.
gets
Yeah.
fed the fish.
I thought, the episode started so cool, and it was like, here's a cool ship. Like we
Yeah.
haven't really seen Quarren's not be the bad guy, and we haven't really seen Quarren ships, so it was cool to see theirs, and also it was like similarly in design to the Mon Calamarian ships that we've seen, so that was neat. And then we see the Imperial cruiser rock up, and then we're like, oh, who's that? And then it turns out to be Mandalorian guys, and we're like, it's Steve or whatever. I remember we had back in the early days of Popcorn Chicken, Elvin, you and I commented on this guy. So we were like, justice for Steve. He never gets any lines, and now he gets all the lines, and now he's running the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like in what season 2, episode 3
Yeah.
or something.
Him and
Yeah.
the other character were on like 1 or 2 episodes.
The Heiress, it was
The Heiress.
was
Right.
called, and also was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Right,
Mhm.
right. With the frog lady, that episode.
Yeah,
Was this directed by
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas as well?
it was.
It
yes.
was.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
She's
That is-
So a lot of the
this is
same-
like
That explains a
her
lot.
third.
No, she's done good episodes.
Not this one. I'll tell you that.
No, this one was not one of them, but she has done good ones.
No, it's she has a certain
again-
stylistic way of doing things.
Sure.
But again, these directors are handed this material, right? So we can't
Yeah.
put all the blame on
Yeah.
her.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I'll just kind of listen to what you guys have to say and kind of inject myself in there as we go along. I'm very frustrated right now with this because we're 6 in with 2 more to go, right? And I still don't know what's the end game here. What is the purpose of it all?
We still don't have a villain.
That's
Like
what's
Bad
that's-
Batch
yeah.
had this exact problem where it was just like, and we didn't give a shit about that show for the latter half of it because it was just like, oh, they went on an adventure, and you're like, okay, well, why? And you're like, I don't know. We had some cool art looking things, and you're like, yeah, it looked good, but
But
I
what
don't care.
Bad did have was more episodes to figure it out, which is even worse because they
Mhm.
still didn't figure out. This show doesn't have that ability, and it's scary because you're going to give us all of that in 2 episodes.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Like I don't want. My biggest fear is they're going to give it to us at the last episode and then put a cliffhanger on at the end, and then I got to wait 2 years now to figure what's gonna happen.
apparently they're not doing more seasons of this show.
I thought they already announced that he's written 4th.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Written, but the
Right.
higher ups are
Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, here we go again. Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
have said no, or that it's not guaranteed. But what I hope happens, and I do think it will be like, oh, here's a huge development and then cliffhanger. I hope Ahsoka picks right up after, because they, to a fault, are blending a lot of the shows together where people are like, oh, how the fuck did Grogu get back here? How the fuck did he get this ship? What happened to
It's a problem,
person? Yeah. But if they do it in a good way, because
you're expecting a lot from these guys.
They
don't really have the greatest track record right now.
They don't.
Yeah.
No, they do. They've got 2 seasons of amazing
Here's the
TV
question I
shows.
want to ask you guys. Like, why do they need to blend multiple shows in? Why not just make them?
Because they're Disney and they say, oh, Marvel did this.
Because yeah, exactly. MCU, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're following the same sort of pattern that they had the problems they had with the recent movies, right? That there was no cohesion. There was no they're just kind of getting all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
I agree though.
We get these 2 lovebirds here, and
yeah,
again, this is what Disney does: is they make one side strong, one side weak. Generally, it's the female side strong, male side weak, and we see it throughout this whole show. And I was ready for it. I was like, "Yep, I can't wait." And I even called this. I knew this is going to be the Bo-Katan show, and that's what it is right now for me, because I saw 4 episodes of her front and center, and I don't even see Grogu and Din go on adventures, because that's what I signed up for. And it's not that I don't want to see a Bo-Katan story.
Yeah,
I would like to see it on her own show.
Sure. I am excited to see a ton of Bo-Katan stuff, because she was fucking awesome in the Clone Wars. And I love that Katie Sackhoff is reprising her role. And she was amazing as Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica. So big fan of her playing. I mean, she's essentially playing the same person as she did in Battlestar Galactica. And Starbuck was fucking badass as shit. And so I'm excited about that. But it's just the reasoning for a lot of things was just, it felt lazy. And it didn't, when things were revealed, I wasn't like, whoa. I was just like, yeah, okay, sure, that makes sense. And when in the episode where they go to Mandalore and she's fighting off stuff, and then you see the Mythosaur, and you're like, oh cool, this will maybe mean this, and then she talks to the armor and you're like, oh, it'll mean this. And are they gonna do anything with that? At this point, they're just gonna go to or was that just her religious awakening and realizing that, what, maybe all the myths and stuff that she had growing up.
We don't even know if this is her mind seeing things or not. We didn't even get confirmation of that, right?
Yeah.
Because the armor said it could have just been your imagination.
Yeah.
And then the faith kicked in, and you see things. You know how it is. They're trying to mimic what a religious experience is like.
Yeah, she saw the burning bush or whatever.
Exactly. So we didn't even get to find out if that's real or not. I was thinking that they would go back at some point, maybe near the end. I mean, who knows? We still got 2 more episodes, but it'd be weird to see it now. That shouldn't be the end boss. That'd be pretty weird if that's the end boss. But yeah, it just, I don't know. There's something. It looks like somebody came in the middle of script writing and said, no, I need more of this. That's how it feels like. Somebody came and meddled with what they were trying to do.
Well, and also too, go on, Chris.
No, I was going to say, it also sort of feels like, maybe we talked about this before, that maybe in the beginning, Grogu wasn't actually supposed to be he, just because he was so cute, they kept bringing him back. But maybe he wasn't supposed to be part of the whole story or something, Maybe he shouldn't even be there, because he doesn't feel what he's you said before.
Yeah,
they're secondary characters now.
Yeah, and they should be secondary characters.
Yeah,
I'm fine with the third season of the show called The Mandalorian, having Din take a step back and become a background character, if it focuses on, if it makes me, when it was involving the Watch and the entire group, and it was no longer just about one Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian as a group. I mean, I know Mandalorian is not plural, but when it was doing that, I was like, this is cool. And when they're doing a bunch of team shit, and I guess it's still kind of doing that. But like, yeah, at this point, it just seems like they're going, no, focus on this person. No, focus on this person. And it's like, okay, well, you haven't given me a good reason to yet. So
Like-
that's why everyone is getting mad about like, where the fuck is Din?
Like the scene, the episode where they had the what is the group they were called? The Federation? No, the episode where they had at the Coruscant. That seems like a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
Like I forgot about it till today. I remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, they did an
the
episode.
amnesty.
Yeah, the politician episode, right?
I love that episode.
No, it wasn't a horrible episode, but I'm just thinking like it felt so isolated and different and had nothing to do with the story. And I don't know why. If that was if that was a reason to bring it in here, why?
Honestly, it tied itself into the Bad Batch more than it has this show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it gave more backstory to a different fucking show that nobody watches. Like Bad Batch was cool, but nobody really likes it. I mean,
not at the level that people watch this show. Yeah.
No, exactly.
See, for me, when I look back to season 2 of The Mandalorian, I can tell you every episode what happens.
Yeah.
This season, I'm already lost. Like I'm like,
you're
what
absolutely
happened?
right. You're bang on.
What happened? What happened that episode? Like I can't even tell you what happened or what episode. I know what happened, but I just don't know what episodes they were. So
is that
it just feels like it's all over the?
Is that possibly a byproduct of Dave Filoni and whatever his name is, the hat guy, Jon Favreau? Is that a byproduct of them maybe moving on to other projects now and them just giving like the general synopsis?
No, you know what this feels like, and there was rumblings. Obviously, rumblings you have to take with a grain of salt, but there was rumblings where Jon Favreau was pissed at Kathleen Kennedy.
This is not rumblings. This is him saying it in an interview and confirming this.
But
I told that motherfucker I was going to quit if she kept meddling.
No, what I'm saying is we don't know what she meddled with.
Sure.
So what I'm looking at this show and saying maybe this is what she was meddling with.
Yeah.
To change.
We're only just hearing about that now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. That happened a year or two ago.
Yeah. So it looks like this was the show that she was meddling with, and Favreau got probably pissed and said, if you do this again, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
Right. Which means season 3 is a write-off then, because she probably meddled with this whole season here. And it looks like it because it looks like there was somebody from higher up saying, well, we need to mesh in a couple of other shows because we need to use the strength of this show, the popularity of this show, to push others out down the line.
Yeah.
But
But the Mandalorian already did that for Ahsoka.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't need to do this.
Yeah. And they already made people watch the bullshit that was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I just think that, like, you know, what Justin, you were saying earlier, that you don't care if it's called The Mandalorian, and you've been okay with them talking about Mandalorians. I agree to some extent, but the thing is, I tuned into this show to watch Din and Grogu. No,
absolutely.
Right? And when you don't give me those two on an adventure, I'm wondering, why did I tune in then?
Well,
why do I bother?
It's not so much that, like, I mean the Mandalorian. It's not called the Din Djarin show.
No,
it's called the Mandalorian. So I'm saying
we are all accepting of that these two are the main characters, right?
Totally. But
there's a driving force.
Give me a reason to want to know more about another Mandalorian that you want to show me. I'm fine with you focusing on other Mandalorians. That's fucking cool. I love the fact that Dio is just all about the Mandalorian and he wants to talk. Dio, do you want to add something? No, okay, then fucking stop jumping on me. But like, I'm fine with them. Oh my god, dog. Yes, hi, baby boy. I know I'm getting mad about something on the internet. I'm fine with them focusing on a different Mandalorian because the Mandalorian is just this is the Mandalorian we are telling you about right now. But give me a reason instead of just, oh, trust us, this one's important.
Chris, what do you think?
So the way they have the story right now, right? Like Bo-Katan, and then there's this group of Mandalorians and this group of Mandalorians, right? And she's supposed to be bringing them together, which is great. But what is she bringing them together for? Like, what is the
Apparently,
episode
this
8?
giant fight that's gonna happen somewhere.
With who?
Yeah,
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
that's it.
See,
That's the
if-
problem.
if
We're amassing this army for what? Don't know.
if season or and like you can explain it like, oh, they want to have a home, they had it taken from the Empire, they want to get the family, they want to get the band back together. Sure, that's perfectly acceptable motivation for that. But as an audience, especially a like normie audience who doesn't know that they're just like, oh, they're the Klingons of Star Wars. Like they just see, oh, there's these guys in cool hats and they got cool guns. Okay. Why are they if episode 3 they go, here's your bad guy, here's him killing a child or a puppy or something, you do like it's a trope, but it fucking works. You establish your villain, you show him doing something fucking horrible so that the audience goes, ah, that's a bad guy. And then you can take 5 episodes of your main characters amassing an army because you're like, I know their motivation, they gotta kill the bad guy. But they haven't done that. They've just gone, yeah, we're all kind of friends. Oh, we're still friends with these guys. Oh,
Yeah.
so like it's just this base level of acceptance and mediocrity that they are that's their grounding is just like everyone's okay with each other. It's like that's not a fucking compelling story.
Yeah.
I don't know why I still have these fucking fish people on there.
Anyway,
yelling about it.
well, let's get into the story a little bit here as we progress. So we had Captain, whatever her name is, with her boyfriend. They were trying to elope in the galaxy far, far away.
Also, side note, he was, and this is a cool attention to detail. And like this episode had a lot of really cool bits, and it was like there were so many little things that it was like, oh, cool, and it was a rewarding episode to watch. This guy, his fate, he was mentioned in the first episode of this show. He was when Din gets a bounty puck, or no, he's talking and he's going through the contracts. They're like, you can get this Mon Calamarian. He's a son of some noble dictarian or something. And
That's
he's like,
pretty
nah,
cool.
doesn't pay enough. It was this guy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's cool.
Well, the people that left, what's her name, Bo-Katan, they thought it paid well enough because they went and tried to get him, and
Yeah.
they hailed the ship. They're using an Empire ship.
Yeah. It was a Star Destroyer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Or
like
no,
it wasn't. It's like a mid-level.
It was a Venator class
Sure.
cruiser, actually.
The fact that you know that is pretty cool.
Somebody's gonna call me out and say that I'm wrong. But,
Yeah. That's okay.
I said it with confidence. That's
But-
all that
Yeah.
matters.
The whole point of what you're saying before, like whatever that guy's name, Steve, like you called him, like all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, right, these people, but I haven't seen them since season 2. Like,
Yeah,
I know. Didn't Bo-Katan say something when she's in the castle?
she
That they've
did.
she
Yeah,
said something
my
about them.
team left me because I couldn't
Yeah.
secure this.
Yeah, show me a
That was-
flashback of them
Yeah.
fucking off. But
Yeah, exactly.
no, we got a guy who didn't have any lines, who we made fun of. We had Elvin's favorite character in the whole show, who had 4 lines.
Who?
She's a wrestler.
Oh, my favorite. No, I have a friend of mine who's in love with her.
Oh, sure. Yeah. A
Sasha
friend.
Sasha Banks,
Yeah.
aka also known as Snoop Dogg's niece.
Niece. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's a wrestler and trying to take her hand in acting right now. But
She's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say nothing bad about her because she barely says
I-
anything.
I love. Well, yeah. She had a couple lines, but like
But it's a good way to start your career, I guess, somewhere like that.
also like getting two female wrestlers as a Mandalorian and a Republic commando was a wonderful move for Star Wars. Like if you want some badass bitches, like that's a good roster to pick from.
Yeah. Sure.
Also, so again, I was reading online that there's speculations of what's his name, the Republic guy. He was on Kim's Convenience. That he is
Carson
Teva. His character is taking the place of Cara Dune, whatever her name is. Because all of those scenes of him like doing all that and going to the Mandalorians, that felt like something that Cara Dune would have.
I would have loved to have Cara.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Why don't just recast her? I don't understand why they had to change the whole story. Just recast it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Did they
find another Republic commando?
They did mention her earlier, right?
Yeah. That
she'd gone off or something.
Know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to bury that character instead of just recasting it.
Yeah.
Which I just don't get. I don't know why.
I mean, again, it's understandable why she no longer gets a paycheck from Disney. It's sure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that recast has nothing to do with her anymore, right? Like,
no,
just keep the character. The character was cool. I'm sure you can find somebody that can do something similar.
I still want to get that tattoo.
So the whole beginning was just a bounty head on trying to not bounty head, but to capture this prince and bring him back because he tried to elope. They go in there, they grab him, and they bring him back to get the money. That's how they're making the money throughout the galaxy to take care of themselves. They're just basically vigilantes, right? Not vigilantes, mercenaries. Hired mercenaries. From there, then we go where? We go to Din.
We go to the planet.
They go to this. They go to Epcot Center.
Epcot Center.
Epcot. Now, first thing I thought right away.
So I thought Epcot Center or Science World or whatever. I was
Expo
86. I think my dad still has a T-shirt. When I saw them fly to this planet, I was pissed because in the trailers, when we saw them flying to this planet, everyone on the internet was like, "Oh, cool! We get flashbacks to when Mandalore wasn't bombed, and we get to see Mandalore in his prime in live action." And then it's like, nah, it's just something that kind of looks like it. And it was the second that they showed that, I was like,
"Give us the cool stuff. Let's give us this."
I was, my girlfriend and I were watching it, and they flew into the atmosphere, and we see the dome, and I was like, "Oh, cool! It's a flashback, yeah." And then it wasn't, and I was like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, it wasn't no flashback. It was a very pristine kept planet.
I mean, it was cool. It was a cool city.
It was, but there's also something, and I can go back to The Last Jedi and Canto Bight, and I know that people have always said
was the Canto Bight, of the Mandalorian.
But people have always said there's something about Star Wars because it feels lived in, right? It feels, when you first watched the Millennium Falcon and A New Hope, and there's dirt, and it's just, and so sometimes, and I know there's got to be planets with clean cities and stuff like that, but I don't know, when I see this in Star Wars, it just kind of takes me out. Like it's not really believable. So I don't know. And I thought that, at first I thought, Jack Black, cool. Lizzo, okay. Christopher Lloyd, and then I'm like, is this? I don't know.
So
it kind of pulls me out of it.
It absolutely pulled me out. I loved Jack Black's performance. Lizzo did a pretty good job. It was I enjoyed. This is what I mean by this. This scene reminded me of the new trilogy, and not the. And I've said the good parts of the new trilogy because there were good parts, but they didn't save it. The design of both of their characters was cool. The acting was pretty okay. Jack Black, I think killed it. But because it's Jack Black, I was just like, oh, this doesn't feel like Star Wars. It immediately took me out.
Yeah.
His backstory that he talked about, it all made sense. It was cool. His costuming, the fact that he has like, the cloner badge or whatever on there. He's got like still his Imperial pauldron. And like there was so many cool ideas, but it just was weird. And it took me out.
I think you kind of said it before, Justin. Like there's all these little like things that they put in, and I feel like they spend more time trying to place these little things in than they do about the actual story. Like it's almost like the story's on the back burner, and they're just trying to put in. Well, this would be cool. That would be cool. This would be cool.
I think you look at a show like The Last of Us. Every person who worked on that show, like set deck, costuming, was the biggest fan of Naughty Dog or The Last of Us. And I think The Mandalorian has that, where every person who's working in costuming, working in props, they're the biggest fucking Star Wars fan. So I don't think that it's them putting the wrong focus on resources. I think there's just genuinely amazing artists and fans that are doing an amazing job. But there's some higher up shits. I think the beef with Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau makes complete sense for this season, because it seems like there was just a disconnect between the higher ups on this entire show so far, and there was like, okay, you're forced to do this, and then there's a couple where it's just like, okay, fuck you, I don't care anymore kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the people, on the ground floor, they're still busting their ass and doing amazing work.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
The design of like her little like holographic peacock thing, like that's fucking cool.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it's, again, like you said, it's the writers, the hierarchy.
Elvin, why did you facepalm?
I hate all of this. I hate I hate Jack Black. I hate Lizzo, and I don't mean I hate them personally because I don't know them. I don't care for any of this. This is garbage to me, in my opinion. None of this is needed. It takes away from the fun that we saw in 1 and 2. Remember, this guy's a bounty hunter, right? This guy went through like thick and thin, like the dirt, the filth, the fighting, the bleeding. Remember at the very end of season 1 where he's pinned with stormtroopers and jetpacks and flamethrowers and Moff Gideon right at this throat. Like that's what we were going to. Remember the episode with Cara Dune where they're in that town saving those people from that giant robot. What is it called? You know it, Justin.
IG-11.
There you go. We went from all of that to this. This is what we're given. It's a joke. This is
actually
sorry, go ahead.
When I first saw Jack Black and Lizzo, it was almost like they were putting on like they did good jobs for sure, but it was like it reminded me of an SNL skit suddenly.
Yeah, it was straight comedy.
Yeah. And
I don't know, like I didn't sign up for comedy in this show at all. Yeah, you want to throw in a sprinkle here and there. Grogu was my comedy in season 1 and 2.
Absolutely.
I don't need more of that from other people. I just need good stories. And this episode, in my opinion, was a filler for me. Yeah, it has some knickknacks and the beginning of what you were mentioning with the prince, how it was all the way back to traces all the way back to first episode. I don't mind stuff like that, but the overall episode did nothing. It gave me nothing. Honestly, that's in my opinion. It gave me nothing to look forward to, and it gave me nothing to see where this show is going.
Now, we had another cameo.
Great
Doc
Scott!
Brown.
We did have a cameo.
We did. Now, when he showed up, the first thing I thought, he looks identical to Clone 99.
That's really good.
Spitting
That's
image.
really good.
Clone 99. I know that they can't. Obviously, he's dead. But like right when he showed up, I was like, "Holy shit!" He should.
Like, could he be a clone of them himself?
I mean, maybe.
Right?
Give him.
They should have just done that.
Vague. Like New Zealand
or his brother,
accent.
twin brother.
Well, I mean, or a clone.
Yeah,
They're all
twin brothers.
Yeah,
essentially,
They're all-
yes.
But yeah, first thing I thought was just like,
That's
he
cool.
looks like Clone 99. And then I started getting feels because of that episode. I was like, oh man, oh they're brothers in arms. Yeah, don't worry, guys, I got you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But I thought like that cameo was cool, and it did not take me out. That
Because he
was
didn't
like,
act like a weirdo. He just
Yeah.
acted like a Star Wars character.
totally. And I
Yeah.
mean,
This is like
The-
cupcakes and tea time. That's what it reminds me. Everybody get
Yeah.
together for cupcakes
well,
and
I
tea.
mean, again, like you face palmed when I was mentioning her like peacock hologram thing.
yeah, I just don't care.
I mean, again, this is like, what was that show? Idiocracy, or like
because they
or
did something similar.
Wall-E.
They did something similar to in She-Hulk, where they wanted to bring in younger generations. How do you
Pop
want to call
culture
it?
people, celebrities.
Influencers, right?
Yeah,
They want to. Lizzo's obviously an influencer and an artist, and so is
Lizzo's fucking rad.
and what's
Jack
her
Black.
name from She-Hulk. We had the other rap singing person, but I just feel like they were trying to make
Lady
this,
Gaga.
they're trying to make this hip and cool for the younger generation. And I know no kid says hip and cool ever, but what I'm saying is there was this urgency to inject something like this in this show.
Mhm.
And I just feel like no, you're missing the mark here. Those people are probably the smaller margin that watch this show. There's a bigger audience in his mid 30s and 40s that watch this show.
You know what? If they had Jack Black and an unknown play his wife, then I think I would have been less taken out. Because first off, I was like, I can only imagine how excited Jack Black is to be in Star Wars. Like that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But because it was Jack Black and Lizzo, I was like,
The minute I saw Jack Black, all seriousness went out the door.
Totally. But I mean,
Totally
like,
out the door. I was like, here, I'm in for a comedy.
The character he played and the placement of it made sense. It's like this dystopian future that they're trying to make. They are I loved the explanation and the story of holy shit, I just realized the logo change.
I was waiting for you guys to mention that.
Wait, is it there? No,
Can't
wait.
get my finger up to.
Yeah, you're exactly where you are. You're exactly where you are.
That's
That
So
good job, D.
I love that. Yes,
so
I love
we're
that.
going
It's
to
awesome.
have a contest. One of our fans will name this character, and we're going to give that T-shirt to that fan for free as well.
It's Danger Bar.
Done.
That's good. No, that does not count. And no, nobody can feel that. That's justice. But yeah, if somebody wants to name this, they can let us know on our social media handle at ANR Universe, or even put in the chat. And if we like it,
point. It's right below you. Yeah.
And we're gonna make a T-shirt out of this, some stickers and stuff, and have fun with this. And this is gonna be our new Star Wars logo when we ever talk about Star Wars stuff.
Yeah,
doesn't have to be Mandalorian. It's just gonna be Star Wars. Period.
Awesome.
We might put a Jedi cloak on it down the road, but this is our Star Wars logo. So yeah.
But yeah, having them both in the scene just took me way out of it.
And here's the other thing. Why did they have to, at the table, all it was these characters like that we knew. Oh, there's a frog lady species. There's, this species, that species. It's almost, again, like you said before, they're just kind of like placing things in.
Fact.
Anyways, I didn't like that aspect of it. Yeah, but you're right. As soon as I saw, I was like, Jack Black. Is that Lizzo? Okay.
The second they walked in and I saw like the frizziness, I was just like, is that Jack Black? And I was excited because I was like, oh, this because he's an amazing performer. And yes, one character.
I do not like Jack Black. I just feel that him being in this show takes the seriousness out of it immediately for me.
Yes, absolutely.
because I associate Jack Black with 100% comedy, especially one of my favorite, funniest comedies is Nacho Libre. It is just flat out funny, and he does a fantastic job in there. But yeah,
And it was also funny too that Tenacious D has a song where there's a line where he's like, "And they'll all travel in tubes," and that's how they traveled in this episode too.
the layout of the city was pretty cool. We got to see a dark version of R2D2 and C3PO.
Well, that's the Imperial version.
Yeah. Did you also notice
the Sith version
in the main hall, the dining hall, that the guards had like stormtrooper?
Yeah, like old Republic
old stormtrooper
armor and stuff. Neat. Yeah, like again, the design and like aesthetically, everything was so well done, and like there was a lot of cool things to look at.
Yeah,
and
so the story of this one is, so they're getting some rebel robots or out of characteristic robots going out of control.
Yeah, they decided we have one story beat we got to hit. We need to get Bo-Katan to have the Darksaber. What do we do? And then everyone in the writer's room was like, well, iRobot was cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, iRobot all over again. Yeah,
yeah.
Right,
so then they're like, oh, let's go talk to Doc. And then he's like, oh,
great Scott.
These goddamn robots taking our jobs.
When they went down to the basement, I thought I was going to see Michael J. Fox hanging out, fixing some robots.
I've met him.
Have you? That's cool. Yeah,
he did some charity work, and we built a guitar, and he signed it and played it and played golf. Anyway, he's a rad ass dude.
Good old Canadian boy.
So
hell yeah. He's from Burnaby, right?
Yeah, my son goes to his school.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Next year my other son will go to that school.
Nice.
This is the way.
This is the way.
But
what
yeah,
did
so
they went down to see the Ugnaughts, right?
Yeah. And Dan
Yeah.
recalls his that's another callback from way back in the day.
Episode 1.
The early days,
Yeah.
The good old days.
Which oh wait, no, it wasn't done by her. But yeah, we get a reference from episode 1 where, you know, I have spoken, and Katie Sackhoff is like, yo, motherfucker, we here. And they're like, whatever, I got robots to
this dude looks like one of my coworkers. I swear to God, I got a coworker that looks exactly like him. Just like disgruntled and grumpy all day long.
Every
black coffee in his hand all the time.
Yeah. Cigarette hanging out. And
always looking at me, just shaking his head like these young kids. I'm like, I'm not young. I wish.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah. So they go down and learn some stuff, I guess. I don't even know. Like,
well, they go down and they're like, hey, your droids are fucked up. Or no, Katie's like that, or Bo-Katan's like that. And then he's like, no.
We don't.
You don't talk shit about their work. They're the hardest workers ever. You say that it's not your fault, and we need to figure out there's a discrepancy going on, and we need to fix it so that you guys don't. So your work isn't shamed because you do amazing work. I've spoken. And they're like, well, okay, cool. Here's the data pad with some robots doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go to the loading docks. We get to see a B1 battle droid in live action again, which we haven't seen for 20 years or more. When did episode 2 come out?
Oh God.
Man, at least
4
years ago.
4
episode. You're talking about Attack of the Clones?
Talking about season 1 episode.
No. I'm talking about Attack of the Clones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like 4 years.
I thought
you sure you don't drink, Alvin?
That's not just water in here.
Early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2002,
Yeah,
2000,
yeah,
something
like that.
Yeah.
And voiced by the same guy who voiced all of the battle droids in the Clone Wars.
Roger.
Not well in the Clone Wars, the TV show. And there's an example of the Jar Jar Binks complex. Everyone hated the battle droids. They were like, they're dumb, they're trying to be funny, But then Clone Wars came out and they leaned into that, and then everyone started to love them. And now when we see them in video games or TV shows or whatever, we're like, hey, it's the stupid battle droids. Hey, it's those guys. And everyone loves hearing that dumbass voice again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And then he started doing the iRobot thing where he's just pushing him over and he's like, I'm just finding one that'll crack. And then
the funniest, I gotta say, the funniest thing is when they walk into that bar.
The bar was cool.
And it's just like silence.
Yeah.
And everyone just freezes and stares at them. And I'm just like, this is pretty cool because they're trying to make that humanizing approach to walking into a bar that you're not supposed to be in. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good callback to the Cantina scene and New Hope.
Yeah.
But even before that, like when they're chasing the super battle droid or whatever, never seen them move like that though, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. He's saying it's iRobot,
not in live action, no.
Yeah. It was very sort of Blade Runner-ish at points too.
That's a good point. Yeah. And it also felt like the game Cyberpunk when they're walking on the hallways.
There's also a bunch of like
very
Logan
neon and
references
bright
and stuff. And
yeah.
See, again, like this was a well presented episode. There were a lot of cool references.
There's a lot of shine to it. Yeah.
There was a lot of shine. Like,
but you can shine a turd all you want. It's still a turd, though.
This was the shiniest of turds. Like, there were so many cool elements that were shiny, and seeing a B2 like super battle droid like running like that, and the CG was okay on it, and and then they get into the bar, which was called the Resistor, which is a good reference. And then we go to the.
When did they go to the morgue? Was the morgue before that or after that?
After that, yeah, they
the morgue. The wasn't really called a morgue, but where they pulled a battle droid out to
out of the wall
basically
thing, and then they find that there's nano robots in there, and then also there's a really cool bit. So when they pull up the requisition for who ordered the nanobots or nano droids rather, they show another picture of Christopher Lloyd, and they've got a bunch of Arabesh beside his name. Do you know what it says?
No.
It says, "This means nothing, but a bunch of fans will decrypt the hell out of this."
Oh man!
So
imagine decrypting that. It'd be like, son of the gun,
you motherfucker! Because so many people, here's all the things you missed in this episode. Everyone decrypts every bit of Arabesh and like, this means this floor. This is written this, and that was a good like. We know you're gonna decrypt this.
Yeah.
See, they should have made it more, that at that point when they're in the morgue, it's like, Bo, Katana, and Din are like this, detective duo, right? And there's like she's almost like the good cop and he's like the bad cop at points. It's almost too bad it's
dynamic.
Yeah. I just wish that was more of the episode and get rid of all the gloss and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it more along those lines.
That being said, too, I liked the reasoning that they had for why they needed to hire them, where they were like, we have this treaty that was signed and we can't have an army. And it's like, okay, well, that's very reminiscent of like Japan after World War II. And it's like, okay, so there's like more real world parallels. And it's like, okay, we can't actually have an army, and we have all these droids, so we don't have an army, so we have all this money to be able to fund these droids. So now nobody has jobs, and everyone just fucking does art and goes to and parties. That's it. Nobody works, and which also made sense as to why there was so much sheen to, Jack Black and Lizzo of just like why they have these exorbitant. Amazing, costumes and everything. It's just like they just have to spend money on cool shit that they like, and so it makes total sense. and none of this made me upset. And when they were talking to Bo-Katan and Din, but like, okay, we need to hire you. You can't go and talk to them because there's laws, because you can't interfere with them. They are hired mercenaries. And also I loved the part where they were like, well, none of our security forces have guns. And they're like, well, we have guns. And he was like, yeah, but that's part of your religion. So it was just like, they are so far left and like accepting of anything. They're like, well, we can't encroach on your religion. That would be offensive. And we wouldn't dare do that. So if guns are your religion, more power to you.
Guns
you can
away.
have all of your guns. And also too, they checked their chain code, so they knew they were coming. And they knew who they were and their story. And like, so when they showed up and they were like, oh, you're here because of this and this and this and this. It's like, okay, well,
and they have a lot of power because they took control of their ship.
Totally, yeah.
They rendered them useless right away, right? They're like,
Yeah.
nope, sorry, we have the tech,
And they've got the money to fund that kind of shit.
Exactly,
and they're not, they're not a republic or an imperial thing, so it's not like they have to get rid of all of their old technology. They're a sovereign state. And also too, I love the fact that they were like, we know why you're here, we know who you are and your involvement with all of this. We know that you're Mandalorian, and we know that probably the Republic doesn't give a shit about you. So if you do this for us, we'll vouch for you for the New Republic. And we know that you're trying to take your world back, and we'll give you the thumbs up to the new police that are a new government, that you're good people. And I was like, I love this idea. Like all of that was wonderfully crafted. There was very little plot holes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So they basically are Bo-Katan and Din are trying to figure out where and what's going on with the robots. How do they? I can't even remember. How did they figure it out? It was
the
Doc.
droid at the bar told them. Well, the droid at the bar told them that it hinted, and it was like, we don't want to get replaced. We want to still serve because that is their main job. And it was a funny parallel that they were like, we don't want to be replaced by humans.
That's funny, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they go to the morgue. They talk to what's her name? She's a comedian. I can't remember her name, but she did fine. Then she goes, "Oh, they have this thing. They're looking through the oil that they drink, and then they discover that there's nanobots on there. Then they find writing on one of the nanobots.
Yeah.
And then they link it back to Doc. Then they go
Doc.
back. And they confront Doc, and he goes, actually, this big red button is actually
I found that very comical.
Yeah.
I found
It's
that
always a
like,
big red button.
It's like, it felt like, like something from Looney Tunes or something like that, right? Where I'm going to press this button and everything's
There are a couple Simpsons references actually in this episode too.
It'd be funnier if that button had a big sign that says "Don't press this" or something.
Yeah.
Like, or no,
"Don't
it
press
says Acme
Danger.
on there. Acme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just found that comic. I was like, okay. And then she just shoots him and tasers him. Tasers him. Which I was expecting. I was just waiting for one of them to do that. I was just like, one of these guys gonna just shoot with a taser and he's gonna fall to the ground and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up just like that. And then I don't even remember how they decided to go and meet up with those guys.
Well, they taser him. They case closed. They figured it out. Then they go talk to Lizzo and Jack Black, and they're like, "All right, cool. You can go talk to your homies."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they had to do them a solid before, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole premise of this. Yeah.
And she knights Grogu.
Oh yeah, she knights Grogu.
It's so bad. It's like
I couldn't really. I was like, why is she knighting him? Like,
what did Grogu do?
He jumped in her arms and ate a bunch of fish.
I guarantee you that Lizzo's publicist or agent was like, yeah, Lizzo will absolutely, she would love to be a part of this. She has one stipulation: she gets to hold the baby.
Yes.
And they're like, all
right. She gets to
I
say that line.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
She gets to say that line. I want to hold the baby, right?
I would like to hold the baby.
Baby.
I did love the like, oh, can I hold the baby? And he's like, he's not keen on new people. And then she's like, but food. And he's like, yeah, bitch, you got snacks. Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Oreos, what?
Yeah.
He should have like peed in her arms or something.
No, just throw up vomit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like eat a bunch and then be like,
A frog just comes flying out of his mouth.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's with only 2 more episodes to go. The decision to make I'm gonna call this a filler episode or a comedic episode. I don't think that's wise. I don't think it's wise. How do you fill in everything? I mean, hey, I mean they are there for a reason. Some of these people are very, very intelligent and very smart at what they do, but I just don't see 2 episodes tying this all up. There's so many holes here.
This felt like a mid. Like this should have happened in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
And so they go to the Mandalorians and they go, yo, you can't run this shit. You don't have the sword. And then Din is like, actually, I got captured and she killed the captor. Does that not make her like we found a loophole? And they're like, yeah, okay. Or no, she fights him first. She challenges him.
Yeah.
The fight was
okay. The fight was so.
It was okay.
Here's the thing. If a man at that size, he's what is he 6'1", 6'2", let's say that. She's what 5'7", 5'6", right?
Right.
This guy literally punches her in the face 3 times as hard as he could.
Yeah, but it's Bo-Katan. I can get past that.
I cannot. That's ridiculous.
She's been punched in the face a lot. She's Mandalorian.
No,
Mandalorians
with the armor, yes. No,
Mandalorians can take a punch. They
don't have no special genes. They don't make them superpower.
No, they grow up punching each other in the face. Like that's what they do for fun.
Bones are bones. It's still gonna break.
They're half.
No, I already knew, by the way, as soon as she stood up and said, I'm gonna fight, I already knew this was over. I knew he's gonna lose. And I'm like, this is garbage. And I was like, yeah, totally out.
There was absolutely no
and then this
suspense of
I thought the Mandalores had like what's happening right now is last week was the helmet, this week is the sword. None of these ancient rituals mean anything anymore.
No.
None of them, like, oh, here you go. I found a loophole. Here's a sword. None of it means anymore. Like, I don't get it. Like, what is the purpose? You spent a whole year, a whole season telling us that this sword is very meaningful and she cannot just have it. You continue on with that this season. And then, there's a loophole. Here you go. And I was just like, what?
Well, I mean, their whole... Even the Watch have loopholes where it's just like, oh, you broke the creed, go take a bath.
But should a loophole be here? Like, don't you want to praise these guys for being so unique and honorable? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table kind of aura you want to bring to these guys. Yeah. They're essentially knights in space, right?
Yeah,
and you want to give them these rituals, these things to give them that uniqueness.
Yeah,
and then it's just taken away like that in a snap.
Yep.
So here's the thing for me, because the dark saber and stuff, I didn't know about the history of it. But if you think back to the last episode of season 2, after Mando defeats Moff Gideon to get the dark saber, and he walks into that room, and you can see Bo looking at the fact that he's holding that dark saber.
Yeah.
And then Moff Gideon says, "Oh, you have to win it in battle." Right away, I was like, "Oh my god, next season, Bo and Din are gonna fight."
I thought that's what's gonna happen now. I thought they should have. They're like, you can't have it. And then she's gonna be like, "Don't worry, I've got an idea." Because when Din was like, "What's your plan?" She's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Oh shit, she's gonna fuck him up." I thought that Bo was just gonna overpower him and just like fight him and take it, and I would have been like, "That's cool." But instead, Din was just like, "Actually, I fell down one time and she picked it up. Is that okay?" And everyone's like, "Yep, sounds good." And I was like, "Fuck."
That whole last scene was just very, very bad.
Also, technically, Luke is the only person who owns it right now, because, and going by how little they care about anything, Darth Maul won it in combat. Then Ahsoka Tano won it from Darth Maul. And then Darth Vader beat her. Wait, no. Yeah, Ahsoka Tano, and then she kind of got rescued, but she didn't really beat Darth Vader, so technically Darth Vader owns it, and then Luke beat Darth Vader, so Luke owns it. I mean, if we're going by the pink slips, like fucking, we got
sure, why
receipts.
not? Sure, why not? As long as we're going by the pink slip, right? I mean, just handing it over to her like that, it was such a waste.
Yeah.
Of a build-up from the season before.
And then she doesn't even do the thing. She just holds it. She doesn't do the I have the power.
I don't know credits. Where do we go from here? Like, is she gonna command these guys to come and do what? Go hang out and have a barbecue with the rest of the guys?
Thing.
Like, are they gonna go back to Castle Rock, whatever that place is, and have a barbecue?
No, it's blown up. They're all gonna go to Mandalore. She's but
building.
Who the fuck are they fighting? What is the point? Like,
there's nobody fighting.
There's no.
Captain Kill. Captain Kill.
Captain Kill's dead.
He blew up
in a fiery explosion.
That's it. Yeah, they're done.
But again, remember after episode 3, right? We're like, okay, someone's in the shadows overseeing stuff, and then the next episode, okay.
No, that was Lizzo.
We still don't know who's in the shadows.
Yeah, that's right.
Bo-Katan should have taken the Darksaber and walked back over there and just like start like slaughtered like a Vader.
Jack Black should just got taken out.
I'm excited that Jack Black is in it, like legitimately. But again, it was because
he put the work in. That beard is on point.
That beard was amazing. His costume,
he put the work in. He
looked great, and he fit. And like again, for a dystopian culture who doesn't work and all they do is party and do what they want, it made sense for Jack Black. Again, if it was not because it was the pair, because it was Lizzo, and if they had both been in the show at separate points, I would have been like, oh, cool, Lizzo's here. She's fucking sweet. And then I've been like, cool. But because they were in the scene both together being weird, I was like, this is fucking weird.
These two are the modern
day.
Look
like Star Wars to me when I just
this is a Cinderella story right here. That's what it is.
This is Chris, you nailed it on the head. This is an SNL sketch.
Yeah. I hope SNL does a sketch. Just like
bring Jack Black in there. You have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, we don't know what season next episode. We don't know where it's gonna go. Yeah, we have no idea. There's no sense of direction. I honestly I cannot believe I'm saying this because I was so amped up and excited for this season. I'm not even looking forward to next week. I don't care.
I have nothing to look forward to. They've already achieved everything they want to do.
I just don't care.
Everything's been closed.
That's a serious problem for the number one rated show for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's a serious problem. This was a show that was pulling people in to sign up for Disney.
This was the show that made me keep my subscription.
It's the show that launched Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It is the cornerstone. It is the anchor of it all.
This is the proof of concept.
And I just don't care about next week. I'm not looking forward to it. Don't care.
I'm excited for them to tell me what I should be excited about.
Well, the next episode is just going to set up for the finale. That's the only thing it can do.
Yeah.
But it should have done it, 3-4 episodes.
If the next episode's 30 minutes, I fucking quit.
You can find out right now if you look it up. I'll tell you.
What are you quitting?
He's quitting all things Star Wars. He's gonna go.
Okay.
He's gonna go watch Star Trek now.
No,
he's putting his saber away for a tractor beam.
For a phaser.
What do you guys give this show out of 10?
6.
Justin, you give it a 6. Chris, what do you give it?
I was gonna even go like a 5, but yeah.
Again, like it was aesthetically was so well done.
And that's where your 6 comes in.
But I agree with that. But again, everything I don't like about it takes me out of it. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
That's
get
the problem.
subtract from the plus, and then you get your score.
And then
So-
we have the facts of life, or whatever the fuck that's saying is. You take the good with the bad, and then you have.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Justin gives 6. Chris, what say you?
Yeah, I'll give it a 6, I guess.
All right,
Tim's just
I'm gonna give it straight up 5.5.
Whoa, you
5.
contrarian, you.
It just crossed the finish line.
Yeah,
Great Scott, kept it over
right,
there.
Scott.
And 5.5. I honestly, I don't know what to say. It is
Pretty
bad times.
meh.
It's bad
Not
times
bad.
at the old corral.
It's not bad. It's just pretty meh. It's just like, yeah, whatever. It was an episode.
It shouldn't be pretty meh.
It
This show, man.
shouldn't. When it's
This show should be kicking it.
the
This show should be making us go nuts right now.
Yeah. What's the? Is there a term? There's the end, the last, and then there's the penultimate. Is there a third ultimate? A thermoplastic?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Oh man! All right, we're in the Cantina Bar here, man.
Okay. 1 sec.
Yeah.
You know what? And we don't have to dwell on this, but I just want to see something darker. You know, I want to see
Right?
something darker. Yeah.
I would like to see a Sith tale,
Yeah.
like a
Show me
Rise of the
something
Sith.
really like I want to see like a Star Wars horror almost like on the cusp of that, like a R-rated Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they just seem to be like always be like pushing, you know, merch and stuff. All the kids are gonna like this. All the kids are gonna like this.
well,
We'll make
that's
a
what
ride
it is.
at Disney.
It's about driving that retail money, right? That's
Yeah.
what it is now. They're more focused on brand than they're about good storytelling, and that's a shame, right?
Are
It
we still
really
talking
is.
about this fucking show?
No.
No.
We're talking about like we would
We
look
want to
at-
see something darker. Star Wars dark.
Absolutely. That's what this show was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
not
haven't seen-
anymore.
Anyone get cut in half?
We-
Also,
Have
the
we even
episode
seen
on
Din?
Mandalore with that like weird spider creature, like that set up so much hype for like here's cool, like darker designs and cool shit, and then they're just like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna go to Burning Man, the planet.
Have we seen Din shoot out his flamethrower? We've seen 2 Mandalores practicing, but we haven't seen.
There were flames in this episode.
Yeah.
Bo used her shield against it.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
did
I'm
like the
talking about Din.
move.
I'm talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Din himself because he used to do it every episode. Remember?
No, we haven't seen
Yeah.
him shoot a flame.
See,
We've
I
barely
did like
seen
the
him shoot a
one-
gun.
The one move where Bo's falling and she shoots back up and grabs the guy. Like,
Oh yeah,
and pulls
like
him.
there was
That
some cool
great.
fight stuff. It
But I
didn't
didn't
blow
actually
my
like-
mind.
I didn't like where it was. It just seemed like they're
they were at a
I
picnic.
remember-
They're all at a
Yeah.
picnic.
in a
The
park.
guys, I swear to
In a
God, the
park.
guys in the back had a Weber and they were just grilling some burgers,
Yeah,
and they're watching this volleyball fight go on.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
It's
it felt
almost
like.
Tony
like,
Loggins playing in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just so nonchalant. It was just like they threw a ship in the back just to make you feel special. I
Yeah.
swear to God, it probably was in the backyard of a Disney executive's office.
It actually looked like a Star Wars fan film. That ending,
Yeah,
like a fan had made parts.
like
of it.
Yeah.
we
That's what it
went
looked
to
like.
like Stanley Park here, and we just filmed it
Yeah.
for the day, right?
Yeah.
And then we all got together and had some KFC picnic baskets. That's what it was. Like it's
Yep.
just, you're absolutely right. It's a fan created last scene. I don't know, like I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I want to get into
Alright.
the Cantina stuff.
You know what?
Sorry, go
what
ahead.
movie was? I don't know if you're going to save this for the Monday show, but a movie that you saw today and I saw a few days ago that was
I haven't seen it.
amazing was fucking D&D.
I can't go into detail because I'm dropping the video. We're doing
okay.
dropping a video on it, but it's non-spoiler as well, so the people don't have to worry about it. But
It was perfect.
I was just telling, me and Chris were talking before we came on. I was saying to him that he's going to watch it on Monday. It is an absolute must watch in the theaters.
It is even like as a person who has done a shitload of D&D campaigns, have played a lot of the like games, it was exactly what a D&D movie should be.
I'm glad to hear that because I don't know anybody, and I'm glad that you who play the game have said that this is good for the fans, because that's my main concern was, is this insulting the fan base or is this helping the fan base?
Every D&D
I'm just an average
campaign,
viewer, right?
every D&D campaign that I played, like tabletop,
Yeah.
like we all sit around a table, get a bunch of Mountain Dew, order
Yeah.
Taco Bell. All it is you bullshitting and having fun with your friends for like 6 hours. And every D&D campaign was as tongue-in-cheek and as comedic as that movie was. And it felt
that's fantastic.
like it was fucking perfect. And there were like tiny little things here and there where it was just like, oh, that's a mimic. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, there's that spell. Oh, there's that one. Oh, cool.
It's a shame it came out the wrong time, because tomorrow it's going to get squashed by Super Mario, right?
Yeah.
I just felt that they should have put a better timing for it.
I think
This is a summer movie, is it not?
It is. It is.
This is like end of July movie.
When did it? How early did I see it? Like I saw it on. When did it come out?
Last week. It's been out for over a week.
Friday.
There were 2 people in the theater when I saw it.
Yeah, I went today and there was 5. Yeah,
but you see, for the last, well, I don't know how long.
and I heard the marketing wasn't as big either for this.
Really?
But before COVID hit, right? They keep pushing, like, summer movies are now like, I mean, Mario should be a summer movie, right? But they keep pushing it back and back and back and back. So it's like, Guardians will be out in like less than a month.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, about 20 days, something like that away.
I don't know a lot about D&D. I just want to have a good time. I just want to go.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have a fantastic time. I know nothing about D&D, and I had a blast.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to convince my wife to come. She's like, I'm not going to see that. I'm like, Chris Pine is in it. The guy from Bridgerton is in it. Like, I'm trying to sell her, like,
what's
reggae,
her name?
Reggae, something like that, right?
Yeah.
What's her
By
name?
the way,
from,
I absolutely love that guy's character.
Which one is he?
Reggae, the soldier.
Oh,
midway comes through.
The tattoo on the yeah. He was great. Yeah,
he was awesome. He was so good.
What's her name from Fast and the Furious?
Oh, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, I always find her
jacked.
I always find her annoying as shit. And she was fucking perfect in this. Also, too, like me watching it, knowing like I'm not a huge D&D guy. Like I played the group that I played with in high school. We also all did kung fu together. So we would like do kung fu on Wednesdays. We would go and study that and practice and whatever. And then on like Thursdays, we would all go to our buddy Mitch's place. Mitch is one of the weirdest and most interesting human beings I've ever met in my entire life. And he would run our campaigns, and it was the most fun I've ever had playing D&D. And we did it for like 2 years or whatever. But it was just exactly how this movie was, where it was just like fucking weird shit happens. And also they have a plan and then it falls through. And then you find out a new plan and then shit goes awry. And then you figure out a new thing to do. And it was like Chris Pine's character was the perfect antidote to what actually happens anecdote to what actually happens in a campaign. And also too, it was fun just going through and like trying to guess what class they were. And Michelle Rodriguez, it was like, okay, she's a fighter. And then, oh, maybe she's a barbarian. And then you go, oh, you got a tiefling in there. And just like all the cool like races that you find in D&D and stuff. And then also Chris Pine playing a bard. A bard is not a combat character ever. It's always a support character. You play songs and you've got abilities that will boost the rest of the party. And it was cool that they barely had him do combat. Like he punched maybe 3 people through the whole movie. And they didn't do the Hollywood thing of just like, oh, it's Chris Pine and he's in a fight adventure movie. He's got to fight everyone. It's like, that's not what a fucking bard does. But like the classes that they had were perfect. All of the just the people who made this movie knew what they were doing. Also, too, there's references to Neverwinter Nights, or well, they were in the city of Neverwinter. So the game that the RPG that came out in, I don't know, early 2000s on the PC, and Neverwinter Nights. They also reference Baldur's Gate, which is a huge game series as well. Yeah, there's a lot of cool callbacks, and it was a ton of fun.
Hot off Hollywood, they always are looking for the next, place to milk money from. Whenever they have
now they're figuring out that nerds have money now.
whenever they have a show or a movie that makes money, they want to milk it, right? So
yeah,
the Shrek series is no different. They've had multiple movies and spin-offs that made money. Recently they had that Puss in Boots movie, which I gave it 10 out of 10. I gave it 10 out of 10.
It was awesome.
It was such a good movie. Well, guess what? They want to bring the band back for Shrek 5.
It'll be ass.
And I'm just like, why? Why? No.
They're not going to have Smash Mouth. If they don't have Smash Mouth, we should riot.
And they want to do an Eddie Murphy's Donkey spin-off.
Really?
Good. No, good. No, good.
No, why?
Good.
Nobody cared about Donkey.
Nobody gives a shit about Puss in Boots.
I don't know. I just feel like they're trying to revive a dead a movie. Like, stop, just leave it. Puss in Boots was a lightning in a bottle. The first one wasn't that good, right?
No.
So it was a lightning in a bottle, and just leave it. You made a good movie, leave it.
No,
everybody remembers Shrek, right? It goes down in its history as one of the best animated, series in a long time. But I don't know. This greed is Shrek 5 might be just horrible.
Would you say the same thing about Toy Story though?
I'm also upset about that news too. That Toy Story is coming back for another 5th installment. Why?
You
had a great ending. It was beautiful. It made me cry.
Yep,
it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Put it to bed.
Right, because they even when Toy Story 4 was coming out, everybody said that. Why are they doing a 4th? Because 3 ended so good, but still 4 was good.
Yeah.
So
4 was the most gut wrenching of them all.
Very emotional. Very emotional. Yeah, especially when Andy passes on the toy.
Oh,
spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. If you haven't, what's wrong with you? But it just how much more you want to milk something and ruin it, right?
But they always will. It doesn't.
That's
ruin
my biggest fear. Is why do you want to ruin
it? Doesn't
a beautiful
ruin
ending?
It doesn't ruin the ending. Just don't watch it. Also, if
we're in a position where we need to watch it, I have to watch shows,
I know, but
even if I don't want to, right?
But again, like I love the TV show Dexter, not Dexter's Laboratory. I mean, I do love Dexter's Laboratory, but the show Dexter, I loved that show. The last season was fucking garbage because they ran out of money, but that still doesn't make the rest of the show bad.
Mm-hmm.
It just
doesn't
means
it leave a bad taste in your mouth?
No, I just don't think about it.
Well, you're trying to block it. I'm saying is like
it just didn't affect me because it was just.
But that's just you though. But the average person is going to be affected by it, right?
No, they'll forget about it and move on to something else.
It's her favorite show, and she was not happy with the last season of Dexter. She was like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah, but
I spent all these years loving the show, and this is what they're going to give me.
Well, and they did come out with a new season that I still need to watch because I haven't heard anything about
Netflix
it, which means that it's probably okay.
But it happens like when we're talking about the Mandalorian, right? Like, if this season ends badly, which we all think it's going to now,
yeah.
Do they have to revive it with a 4th one? Like they have to make it, it's like any series. When do they end?
They'll revive it with Ahsoka.
But that's what I'm saying. Like every series, it's like, when do they decide we have to stop or it gets canceled or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, here's a perfect example. Stranger Things has been great. And my God, the 4th season was amazing.
No, there's an example of the opposite. The first season was fine. Then the next 2 seasons or whatever, I didn't give a thundering fuck about. And then the 4th season came out and it made me rewatch it because it was just like, oh, wait, no, this is the good one. And then I watched it and I was like, shit, this was really good. Then I went back and rewatched the other ones because it was a good supplementary to a good thing.
Right.
So I think if The Mandalorian does that, where they have this subpar season, but then the next season they just go, okay, Kathleen Kennedy, we got her the fuck out, and they bring home a banger, I think then this season will be looked at as a good supplementary.
Right.
Or if they do that with Ahsoka. Because, I mean, if they're setting up a bunch of things that are going to happen in Ahsoka, and the same thing goes for Book of Boba Fett. But it's not a great example because I probably won't recommend this season of The Mandalorian to a lot of people. But if they have a banger fourth season or Ahsoka's amazing and there's a lot of required reading for Ahsoka, then, Book of Boba Fett you have to watch. Even though and you can always give things with a caveat. It's just like you do have to. Oh, the same could be said with Clone Wars. There's like 37,000 episodes of that, but even Disney Plus, when you go on there, when they had the final season, they had a playlist of just like, here's the required reading for Clone Wars. Like, here's the important episodes. And they'll skip like a season at a time sometimes and just be like, you only need to watch one episode from season 4. And this one's important and this one's important.
James Gunn came out and said that he interviewed on Rolling Stone, and he said he agrees that superhero fatigue is a problem, but he knows how to fix it. And he also gave reasons how to make sure the fatigue doesn't set in.
Didn't he quit?
No, he's in charge of DC now.
He moved over. Yeah.
He's in charge of DC.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He quit Marvel.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
How long ago?
Justin? Weren't you watching any of my episodes?
How long ago?
I'd say about 4 months ago.
Oh, okay. No. I was reading something recent.
Well, he officially couldn't say quits until the Guardians of the Galaxy did their little rounds and stuff like that. But
so yeah, it only recently came out as official.
Yeah.
That's why I kept seeing articles about it like the last week.
But he's fully been entrenched in DC in the last couple of weeks and couple of months, getting stuff done. But I think this is an interesting thing because Spielberg and some of these other old school directors, Martin Scorsese, they don't care for superhero movies.
No,
and they feel like it's the old cowboy movies where it's a fad for a while, then it just kind of goes away in the sunset.
I agree.
You think so? You think superhero movies will be over in, like, say, 10 years from now?
5.
Nobody would care for them?
5 years.
I think it's already been going on for a while already, right? There was a
I'd say about 12, 13 years now.
Name a Marvel superhero movie that's come out in the last. Name the last great Marvel superhero movie that you watched.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because I would argue it's on its way
Endgame, the final season. That's a while ago.
That's before the pandemic.
Yeah,
that's the last 2019.
That was one of the last movies I thought that was really good.
Yeah, because like Ant-Man was okay.
A lot of that
Black
came
Panther
afterwards.
2 was okay. Like
they've all just kind of been like Shang-Chi. They're enjoyable.
Shang-Chi was pretty good.
It was plateaued.
Yeah.
It plateaued.
Yeah.
Black Adam, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Like there hasn't been a like.
Okay, no, you know what? Sorry. Matt Reeves' Batman.
Absolutely, but one you could say the same thing like Joker. That's what I mean. Like DC, when they do Art Nouveau, like when they let a visionary do something and have their own thing, but like when we're talking like, oh, this is part of this universe, it's plateaued a long time ago, and like but like that too, like Dark Knight. That's not a superhero movie. That's a Christopher Nolan fucking movie.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
it's superhero.
The thing about
there.
The thing about the Dark Knight and the new Batman and even Joker, it's like relatable because it feels like it's in the real world. Or there's not aliens coming down. There's not
very grounded.
Yeah.
And I've seen a little bit of the new Joker movie that's coming out.
Yeah, it's a musical though. It's not a movie. Well, musical movie.
Who's
The
directing?
one, it's still him, isn't it? The same guy? Isn't
Yeah.
it? You
Yeah.
talk about the one with
Lady
Lady
Gaga?
Gaga playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Harley
musical.
Quinn.
I'm excited for that.
I do not care about music unless it's live.
I don't know that. So when I heard that it was a musical, did you watch Baby Driver?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
I would call a musical. I think most people would call that movie a musical. The
Really?
entire
'Cause-
movie is done to a track, and every motion and every movement, every point of dialogue is done to a beat. And there's like graffiti in the background that pop up the lyrics of the song that's up. That movie, I would argue, is a musical.
I don't
And
know
that
about that. I would say yes. In some ways, it's a hybrid. I would say
it absolutely, yeah.
it's a
But like,
hybrid. Yeah.
and that was
But this is one of these ones where they're gonna line up in the rain and kick their feet underneath them. They're gonna do marchy
it?
songs. Well, that's what they're saying because they want that Joker and Harley Quinn to be dancing and stuff, that singing in the rain kind of thing, right?
I would be. I mean, I would say that intrigues me
Live
more
live on
because-
Broadway. Okay, I'm up. I'll
Sure.
be down right for that. Right.
I don't think it's going to be a musical in the sense of like Les Miserables or like Little Shop of Horrors kind of thing, where I think it'll be a fucking trip of a movie because it's gonna be Joker and Harley Quinn in a real world setting, and because they are so grounded, also is not Theo, come here. If you're gonna just cry and bitch, then don't run away when Daddy starts yelling. Because it's going to have what's his name, the vampire pretty boy, Cullen. No,
Ja-
that's from
Jared Leto? Is that who you
no.
said?
You're talking
The
about from the Batman?
Batman, yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. Now I forgot his name too. Might as well punch it up before we can figure it out.
Batman. Blah, 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 blah.
What were you? what
Robert
was your point?
Pattinson.
Okay, what was the point?
Oh,
Robert Pattinson is in this one, isn't it? Isn't he?
really?
No.
Or it's in that universe?
So James Gunn basically said everything that's outside of his visionary and connected universe will be called DC elsewhere.
Okay.
Sorry. So the Joker, Matt Reeves, Batman, they all fall in this category,
Matt Reeves, right?
but they all are separate in their own.
So,
universe.
but Matt Reeves is doing this one.
No. It's a different director, the same director that did Joker first one.
Oh, okay. Who did the
Yeah.
first?
So it's separate. It's separate universe. It has nothing to do with James Gunn's world that he's building,
Mhm.
and it's nothing to do with all the Matt Reeves Batman. They're
Todd
separate.
Phillips.
All right. Todd Phillips.
Okay. Right.
But
he doesn't have a good track record. Well, it's not that he doesn't have a good track record. It's that Joker was
That was a good movie, man.
surprise.
That
It
was a good movie. It
a
tripped me out at the end,
phenomenal
man.
movie.
I really tripped out at the end.
It was a phenomenal movie.
My
But-
question is, what are they going to do? Like, I get it. They're introducing Harley Quinn, but are they going to have antagonist, or if Batman's not in it,
Protagonist, yeah.
protagonist? Sorry, like, what's the story about? Like,
It might be her pissing him off. Right?
Well, it's, so what I was saying is to be able to rationalize it being a musical when it's so grounded in real world with mental health and the drug crisis, and there was a lot of obviously references to Bruce Wayne and Batman. How would they ground that being a musical? And I think it would, if it is going to be a musical in the traditional sense, where it is, singing in the rain, twisting around some stuff, it would be really hard to do that and not feel weird without it being a huge drug trip. And then maybe they get like Scarecrow in there, and he becomes a big part, and then everyone's just like fucked up on his laughing gas, and that's why everyone's singing, kind of thing. So if they kind of introduce something like that, then it would make sense.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how much of a musical it will be, or in the sense that they're just using that as marketing buzz, and it would be more like Baby Driver. Because yeah, again, I would argue that, and well, Edgar Wright, who was the director of that, I mean, a lot of his, I mean, the Cornetto trilogy, like the half of that movie is to the beat of a song. And I mean, you just look at the bar scene in Shaun of the Dead, where they kick the jukebox and Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now" starts playing, and the fight is all choreographed to that song. If it's at that level of a quote unquote musical, then
I think it's definitely a marketing thing because it's Lady Gaga, right? Like
it is. But also, did you see House of Gucci?
That's a good movie.
That's like right when I heard she's playing Harley Quinn.
And A Star Is Born too, right?
Star Is Born, yep.
Yeah.
But House of Gucci, I like Adam Driver.
That was a good movie.
That was a fucking good movie.
Yeah, she nailed that one.
Absolutely.
Speaking of nailing it, Indiana Jones, it's going to debut in the Cannes for the first time.
What's
it's
the
nearing
Cannes?
The Cannes Film Festival.
I call it Cannes.
Well,
I thought you were just talking about the Canary Islands or something, being like it's debuting in the Canary Islands. I was like, oh, okay, they've got good hopes for this one.
It's pronounced both ways. Cannes, Cannes.
What's the Canadian pronunciation?
Well, it's French.
I did the European. I did the European. Yeah, Cannes. Yeah.
Con.
How do you spell it?
C-A-N something.
I think it's C-A-N-N-E. Con. It's Con, France, right? It's in France.
Cannes.
But what are your expectations for this Indiana Jones 5? You think it's going to be a great movie, a mediocre movie, or it's going to bomb?
I don't think it will bomb. Crystal Skull, everyone hates.
Oh God, that's so bad.
But that movie, I really like Shia LaBeouf in. That it was mainly because he had a beautiful like 1966 Softail Springer, and the motorcycle that he drove I thought was the fucking coolest thing in the world. The fridge scene was stupid. I don't remember most of the story bits, but I thought Shia LaBeouf was cool in it. This is like
I don't know. There has been some rumblings. There was some leaks earlier in the year where they were saying that they were going to remove Indy, like retro-con the whole Indiana Jones franchise, because in this movie they're supposed to use time traveling in there.
Yeah,
that's why
always works out.
Yeah, that's why you see Indy in a younger de-aging kind of form.
Yeah,
and supposedly something happens where he dies, and the story continues with this new character. I forget her name. Emmy winner Waller-Bridge from Fleabag.
Oh, yeah. Waller-Bridge. Wait, I'm only thinking Friends.
No,
Phoebe.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, not Phoebe, but she's from the show Fleabag.
Yeah,
and she stars in there as Helena, the goddaughter of Harrison Ford's iconic adventures.
Who made him a godfather? Who does he have in his life that is like, I'm gonna make this guy my kid's godfather?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, didn't he? Okay, so at the end of the last one, 4, he marries, what's her name, right? Marion.
Maid
Indiana.
Marion?
No, Indiana marries, what's her name from the first movie? Miriam. From Raiders of the Lost Ark, the female, she's back and she was back in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and they got
Well,
married.
that's how you had.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you had. What's the name? You just mentioned.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
It's
that's
his
the kid.
son.
Yeah.
So is that storyline out the window?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they're retconning all of it.
Okay.
I'm worried here because does that mean that they're trying to tell us that the indie movies after whichever one they go to back in time doesn't exist anymore? Like, is this their way of starting a new Indiana Jones franchise by removing or telling people that what you saw doesn't exist anymore because we went back in time and it never happened?
Well, also that's kind of them just being like, okay, nobody liked Crystal Skull. We're gonna start again. Nobody pays
Well, this might be before Crystal Skull.
Are you talking about Are you talking about Temple of Doom and Last Crusade don't exist?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one of these major movies that he did, they're gonna go back in time and it didn't happen. I would be very angry if that happens. You're going to tell me that you're going to take a classic and say it doesn't exist anymore so that you can make future franchise money out of this thing? I mean, talk about pissing off people and starting on the wrong foot.
Yeah. I mean, when did Crystal Skull come out?
Early 2000s?
Yeah. So we're talking at least a decade. And sure, there's the argument of just like, well, it's been a decade. We can kind of start from scratch. And also too, I guarantee you that this was Harrison Ford being just like, kill me, please don't kill off my character. I'm done with this. I don't want to play this 80 years old. This fucking hat wearing whipping guy again. Just put me in a grave.
But like, do we want to see Indiana Jones anymore?
No.
Has that character been laid to rest now?
Yeah, but
do people care about a guy with the hat and a whip anymore?
No, and I kind of understand them. Like, the IP is worth money, so it makes sense why they would.
Is it worth money?
Sure.
People
can still buy the whips. They're referencing it in every Star Wars thing that they can fucking try and shovel in
They try selling the figures and nobody's buying them. I'm telling you right now.
Exactly. That's why
nobody's buying it.
But in Andor. They put a whip in carbonite and they put a fertility idol, and then everyone on the internet lost their shit. And then they were like, why is nobody buying the figures? Okay, we got to put them in a new movie, but we're going to kill them so that we can start it again.
Well, because kids don't want to have an action figure that says this is the same age as my grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's buying Tron figures.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But
I mean, I hope it's. I'm definitely going to see it, and I'm definitely going to check. Like, I just hope it's fun, and I hope it's better than Crystal Skull.
If D&D proved anything, it's reference your source material, do your homework, and just make it fun.
Yeah.
Because they did a D&D movie in the 2000s, and it was all serious. It was it took itself way too seriously, and nobody fucking watched it.
With Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons was in it. Also, too, Chris Pine, not a huge seller. Like, if I hear Chris Pine's in a movie, I'm not like, oh, it'll be great.
Yeah,
he's been in some fucking garbage movies.
He
was the most he was the perfect amount of charisma, but also too, I wouldn't call him a B-list actor, but he's not like an A+ list guy, whatever.
Yeah.
This movie felt like if they made a bad mistake, they would have put what's Guardians of the Galaxy? What's the white dude in that?
Chris Pratt.
This felt like, because it's like a kind of sarcastic, charming, good-looking, roguish type. But I think getting Chris Pine as kind of a, again, but he's not in the zeitgeist currently. But getting him, it wasn't them just trying to make money. It was he's a good fit for this. And if they do something like that, but yeah, again, just make it fun, respect the source material, don't lean too hard into it, and just I don't know.
But if you go back in time and you kind of end the legacy there, that's not respecting the source material?
Not at
right?
all.
But that's the plot, that they will go back in time.
Allegedly.
No,
but what if they
the dial means it's dialing it back in time? They've already said it.
Yeah.
I hope they don't pull like an end game where he goes back to like his old movies, something like that.
Well, if they but that could be done well if they find, like, the whole plot is that they find a time dial and then they get to like relive. And
Very few movies can do going back in time well. Back to the Future is an exception.
Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Okay, it's a movie.
No, that's Attack of the Clones.
You're talking about prequels. I'm talking about actually in the movie going back in time.
I know. I'm just talking about times that time travel has been done well, because it's rarely been done well. Time travel, Clone Wars did it well.
I mean, Terminator 2.
Yeah, Terminator.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean,
Back to the Future.
There's not really much out there because they ruin it. A lot of it ruins
it's tough to.
It's difficult to do, right? Because you don't want to
disrespect the original source
but
material.
also
screw
the canon.
Looper, that was good.
Looper was great.
That's a good one.
Looper was really really cool.
Yeah, good one on that one. Yeah, you just don't want to go back and ruin what you've established, right? To make either the series or the one movie before that really good, because Terminator 2 could have done that, but it was one of those rare movies where it surpassed and got better. It was better than the first one, right? And it's unheard of, right? To do that. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Dana Jones. I'm kind of worried about that, but it should be, in theory, Harrison Ford's last kick at the can here.
Yeah. And
this man is 80 years old.
Yeah.
Let the man enjoy the rest of his life here.
Let him just make hot tubs with
no
departments
more Han
that
Solo.
you can hide weed into.
No more Indiana Jones. Let the man breathe.
Let him just make hot tubs you can hide weed in. That's
Maybe
all
they'll
he
bring
wants to do.
Maybe they'll bring whatever his name, Shia LaBeouf back, and he kills him just like Kylo Ren killed Han Solo.
Just stab him in the middle of a staircase
with a whip.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, I think this rounds up the Cantina Bar today. Anything else you guys want to add before we kind of wrap it up?
Go subscribe to AGR, because the new Jedi Fallen Order game, Jedi Survivor, comes out.
Oh, yes.
And then Zelda comes out next month.
Ooh,
and Elvin and I are going to be fighting on who streams first on at least one of those games. We might figure out a way to make a simulcast.
I was able to secure a Legend of Zelda Nintendo Switch Special Edition.
Holy fuck.
I was able to secure it. It's coming from Best Buy. It's the whole package. I cannot wait.
Oh,
I'm probably not going to open it. I'm just saying. So I now have two rare consoles. I have also the PlayStation Spider-Man console, which is going
find them on eBay.
Yeah, for $1,000. My son came to me the other day saying, "Did you know that PlayStation over there in your room that's hidden in the corner is worth $1,000?"
You're like, yeah, it's your college fund. Shut the fuck up.
I go, that's why it's hidden in the corner away from you. But yeah, we'll be doing some stuff like that. Also, we got our shows here. Do we see anything in the horizon that we could do after Mandalorian? Have you guys looked at anything that's coming around the horizon? TV show?
No, I don't know anything.
I mean, there's nothing Star Wars or Marvel for a little bit. The next Marvel, I think, is Loki. That's not till the summer.
We have
TV shows.
We have Samuel L. Jackson's Secret Invasion coming. That's coming.
When's
soon.
that? Is that the summer as well?
I think that's in June. I think that's in June.
Okay.
But we're gonna find something in May. It might even just be a movie we'll watch and then we'll talk about it week to week kind of thing, go like that. But yeah, 2 weeks from now we're gonna have to find something else to latch on to.
Yellow Jackets. I don't really.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't want to support that show. Shadow and Bone. I've been hearing some.
I watched the first season. It was all right. It was not bad.
Why don't you let whoever watches this give us some suggestions in the comments below?
I mean, Willow 2's coming out soon. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I heard they actually canceled it, though.
Did they?
I heard they canceled Willow. It's done.
Oh, thank Christ.
No, please don't make my day go well.
I thought I heard that. I'd have to look it up again, but I thought I heard they canceled it.
One last thing also, don't forget, we are giving away some cool prizes in all of our shows. We're giving the Batmobile on this show here. All you got to do is tune in and listen to our show and answer a trivia question. And then we're also giving away in the Mighty Mornings, we're giving away an X-Men 3-pack figures. And then on Monday night, we're also giving away a very expensive Mezco figure of an X-Men character, Bishop. So yeah, if you're listening to us on the replay or watching us live, make sure to show up at these shows and you have a chance to win a prize. All right. With that, we're going to end it for today. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.